Earlier this year, 2024, I hiked the Overland Track in Tasmania. It's a 6-day hike through the Tasmanian wilderness from Cradle Mountain to Lake St Clair. Whenever I go places like this, I always try to find all the possible fishing spots on the route to see if it's worth taking the fishing gear with me. Most places I found on the internet were pretty negative, but I could see a few lakes and rivers en route, so I decided to make a plan to try as many places as possible. This is my route, with each day shown as alternating blue and red tracks. On the first day we start from the car park at Ronnie Creek and walk up to Crater Lake. It's a possible fishing spot and I'm sure has some fish. I've caught trout in the stream at the car park in the past. I decided not to fish this lake though and focus on the areas where I haven't been before. On day 2, the track goes quite close to Lake Will, and there's a marked track that runs up to and alongside the lake, so it's probably worth a go. Then at the end of the second day, there's Lake Windermere, which is close to the hut, so I've got both those lakes on my list. Day 3 is the longest hiking day, so there may not be much fishing time. But near the start there's Lake Curran next to the track. Midway through the day, the track passes a region with quite a few tarns shown. Then later in the day the track crosses the Forth River, and at the end of the day we go close to Douglas Creek. Day 4 I decided to skip the side trip up to the summit of Mount Ossa, which is the highest mountain in Tasmania, to make time for a side trip to Lake Eyre, not far from New Pelion Hut. In the valley below Kia-Ora Hut, there's a reasonably sized river, the Mersey River, so I planned to do a full extra day at Kia-Ora Hut so that I could hike down to the river along this track shown on the map. There's a good chance of fish in the river, as there are definitely trout in the Mersey River downstream. On day 5 there are several side tracks down to waterfalls along the Mersey River that might be worth checking out. Then on day 6 the track runs down the Narcissus River Valley, with a few options to get access to the river. There are trout in Lake St Clair, so there should be something in the river. There's no hiking on the last day. I just get a boat down Lake St Clair and then try to find somewhere to fish on the lake. Well, that was the plan, but you'll see that things didn't go entirely as I'd hoped. Well, that's the start of the overland track, but this is not the advertised weather. There's a weather warning for damaging wind gusts and rain for today. No fishing planned today, but I think it's going to clear up later on. Got about 4 hours from here to Waterfall Valley. May not be taking too many pictures today. I've come out of a little forested section. This is looking back towards the start at Ronnie's Creek car park. This is Crater Lake. Still raining. Summit is just ahead. I won't be stopping up there for any photos though. Well, it was terrible weather yesterday, but made it to Waterfall Valley hut. Soaking wet, everything was wet. But the hut's really good, it has a heater. I managed to dry most stuff out. Boots are still wet. Heading for Windermere Hut today. I'm going to do a side trip to Lake Wills. The weather is still looking a bit dodgy, but slowly improving. So goodbye to Waterfall Valley Hut. I was waiting till around 9 o'clock because the forecast was it was going to clear around 9, but it started raining again, so I'm setting off anyway. It's 10 to 9. If it's not raining when I get to the Lake Wills junction, I'll probably will have a look up there, but I may not fish. I found this little chap standing by the path. He doesn't seem too bothered. I've got to go that way, mate. Do you mind if I come past? Thank you. Just coming up to the junction for Lake Wills. A nice little lake on the left here. Somewhere down there in the valley. The wind is whistling up that valley and the rain, so it's not looking good. So the turnoff is just here. Track up to the right here. This is Lake Windermere. Does it look fishy? Definitely worth a go if the weather improves. "10 minutes to the hut, I think." Well, that's proof that there are some kind of fish in here. There's a little diving bird out there. Haven't seen him catch anything yet, but he's dived a few times. Yeah, there he is. Well, I think I have to have this bunk room and maybe this bunk. But I'm going to take the bottom one. What are you after? This is Windermere Hut. Another good hut actually. Has a heater, it was nice and warm in there last night.
Few walls out of flattened.
Lake Windermere down there. Unfortunately the weather didn't ease up last night, so I didn't try and have a go fishing, but actually there was only one spot you could get access to the lake, and all the other paths that looked like they might go to the lake were all marked no access, so I don't think it's a very good spot for fishing. Other people who went to Lake Wills, or Lake Will yesterday, showed me some photos, and that might be a better option if the weather's okay. There is a track along the side of that lake. No fishing so far. Not raining now though, and not as windy, so it's clearing up. Maybe at the hut tonight, Pelion Hut. There's a lake nearby. Might be a possibility. This is the first day I've been able to see more than 100 metres, so it's definitely clearing up. Just coming up to Lake Curran on the right there. So I might have a quick look there to see what it looks like. This is the stream coming out of Lake Curran. Quite overgrown. There's no clear access up there, but it looks like it would be possible to just walk up to the lake there. Fairly exposed. Fancy it more if it was drier. Gonna get wet walking through the grass here. This is looking back towards Lake Curran. I think on a slightly drier day, there's definitely an option there. It's a very short distance from the track. You just walk up alongside the stream. You could fish that outlet there. If I had a bit more time today, I'd be tempted. A few little tarns along this stretch. Doubt there would be much in there, and they're a bit off the track, but I think there's one ahead that's a bit closer to the track. We can have a look at that. Yeah, it's a small lake there, a couple of 100 metres off the track, but it's difficult to see from here. Lots of little ones like this. Not sure what happens to them in the winter though, whether they freeze or whether they still have water in them. Here we go, the track comes right past this one, so we can get a good look at it. It's very shallow on the near bank here, so probably that's not underwater in a drier spell, but because we've had a lot of rain the last couple of days, it's filled up, but it looks deeper on the far side. So it's possible there could be something in here. About 6 k's from Windermere Hut. Heading towards the Forth Valley, or across the Forth River. It's downhill quite steeply to there, and then there's a bit of uphill on the other side, and then on to Pelion Hut. This is the Forth River, just downstream where the overland track crosses the river. It's probably a bit swollen because of the rain the last few days, but it's clear. And if there was this much water all the time, I'd say definitely there's a possibility of fish in here, but it's very, very snaggy. There's no cast. No back cast, and there are a lot of trees and branches in the water, so you're going to get snagged. Yeah. I've just emerged from the forest to a good view, and I'm at the junction for Old Pelion Hut, which I'm going to have a look down there because it's down by the river, so might be an option to walk back this way and do some fishing. So we'll go left here and see what's down there. Well, it's got to be worth a go here. Just go up to those rocks and have a cast upstream. Might be something there. And then nymph into this pool. So here we go. First fishing on the overland track in the stream just near Old Pelion Hut. Who knows what's in here, if anything. Bit of a breeze, but it's behind me, so it's helping a bit. Starting with a dry, but I may go on to a nymph soon. Well, nothing on the dry, so I'm going to drop a nymph upstream here and then also downstream into that pool below me. See if there's anything deeper down. I'm not sure how deep it is or what's on the bottom. Looks pretty deep. Okay, nothing in that upstream run, so I'm going to just swing a nymph in down here. Looks like there should be fish in here, but nothing so far. Well, it was worth a shot. Doesn't mean there aren't any fish in here just because I didn't catch any. Would have been nice to have a longer go, but I've got to push on to the hut. There's a lake somewhere near the hut that I might walk out and have a look at as well. This is New Pelion Hut. Got a fantastic outlook there, especially with today's weather. just come down the Arm River track from New Pillion Hut and reached this little bridge across the river. It looks like a few spots I can try here. Grass is quite dry, so should be okay to walk along the bank a bit. I'm going to try this pool right here first. Okay, got about an hour till sunset, so this is the perfect time. Must remember I don't have my waders, so I won't walk into the water, but this should be a good spot. There should be something just on that far bank, so I can get over that. Just move to this bank. There's a platypus over there. Just on the left bank, the other side of the log. Just dive down. So platypus, but no trout. He's on this bank now, just under the bank. See if he swims out. Oh, I just scared him again. He was in that pool down there. I was walking downstream to see if I could see if he's under the bank, and he'd swum downstream, so I scared him. He might come back. Well, no fish, but I was happy with the platypus sighting and the little wallaby up ahead. He's seen me coming. Oh, a couple of them actually. I'm coming past, mate. Sorry.